Alrighty, so what we are going to do today in our 419 notes is we are going to kind of be working backwards. We're going to start with the information that we're given, okay, some information about the directrix, the focus, the axis symmetry, stuff like that, and we're going to come up with the equation, okay? So, look at our first problem. We have a vertex at 5, -1, and we have a focus at 3, -1. Now, I know that some of you have like a physical illness when it comes to writing things down or drawing things out, okay? However, if I may, I would highly, highly, highly suggest that this is a time when you do draw a little picture, sketch things out, okay? I promise it's going to help you out, right? So let's sketch what we've got here. We've got a vertex at 5, -1, so I'm going to draw myself a little set of axes. And we've got a focus at 3, -1. Okay, we have a lot of information here that has been given to us. Brainstorm what some of the things are that we know from this picture. Rory, what do you think? It opens to the left. Good. We know that this graph has to open to the left. How do we know that? Yeah, it's always got to open towards your focus. Okay, so it's horizontal, it opens left. All right, so horizontal means we're going to be filling in the equation. What's that general equation of a horizontal parabola? X equals 1/4p times y minus k squared plus h. Okay, you will be given this on your test on Friday. It's not going to say, hey, this one's horizontal, but you are going to get this so you know the placement of everything. But you have to be able to recognize which one's horizontal and vertical, okay? All right, so the things we must find out are what? Okay, we have to know P, and we have to know K and H. What do we already know? K and H, because our vertex is 5, -1, which means H is 5 and K is -1. So we need to find P. How do we get P? Yeah, distance from the vertex to the focus. What is that distance? 2. Just 2? -2. Good, because it opens to the left. All right, so now are we ready to write our equation? All right, x equals, if P is -2, then 1/4P is equal to 1/4 times -2. So what's that? -1/8 or 1/8 times y. Yeah, because it's minus -1, right? It's the opposite. So y plus 1 squared plus what? 5. Questions on that? All right, let's move on to number 2. Let me give myself a little more room here. All right, a vertex at 5, 2 and passes through the point 1, 4 and has a horizontal axis of symmetry. So start by sketching what we're given. Vertex at 5, 2 passes through the point 1, 4. Passes through means it's a point on the parabola, okay? Point on the parabola. Okay, why is it important that we were told it has a horizontal axis of symmetry?
Because it could either be concave.
Yeah, it could either be concave up or concave left. Do y'all see that? So they had to give us a little bit more information, and they did. They said, okay, you've got a horizontal axis of symmetry. So what does that tell us? Good. Our graph opens to the left. Okay, which means we're using the equation x equals 1 over 4p times y minus k squared plus h. Okay, what have we been given? The vertex. So we know h and k. Do we know p? We don't. We do have something else that can help us that we haven't used yet. Yeah. This other point, 1, 4, that's an ordered pair, right? And ordered pairs represent x and y. So we're going to plug in for h, k, x, and y, and what's all that's going to be left for us to solve for? P. Y'all see what I'm saying? All right. So what are we going to plug in for x? 1. Good, because that comes from our ordered pair. So 1 equals 1 over 4p, which we don't know yet, times, what are we going to plug in for y? 4. Minus, what are we going to plug in for k? 2. Squared. Plus, what are we plugging in for h? 5. Okay? All right. What should we simplify first? Yeah, that parentheses. 4 minus 2 gives us 2. And 2 squared is 4. So this is 1 equals 1 over 4p times 4 plus 5. All right, let's get rid of this 5, right? Subtract 5, that would be negative 4 equals 1 over 4p times 4. Now, I could multiply this through right here and make this just 4 over 4p, right? But I urge you to think, what is it that we actually need to plug into our equation? 1 over 4p. You see how we almost have that here? 1 over 4p. What's all we need to do? Divide by 4. If we divide both sides by 4, we get that negative 1 equals 1 over 4p. So can we just use that and plug that into our equation? Yeah. Now, it's totally fine if you choose to go ahead and find p and then find 1 over 4p. It doesn't make a difference. This just saves us a couple steps. Everyone okay with that? All right, so let's write our equation. We have our vertex, and we have 1 over 4p. So that's enough, right? X equals, what's 1 over 4p? Negative 1 times y minus k is 2 squared plus 5. Questions?
Why does that show that whatever points they give you is the point that you used to pick?
Because it says passes through the point, which means that it's a point on the parabola. Okay? And in this equation, this represent, x and y represent points on the parabola. Every ordered pair that fits would be a solution to that equation. Okay? What other questions do you have? All right, I want you to sketch yourself a picture of number 3 and try and see what you can come up with. You don't have to finish it, just kind of think horizontal or vertical. What types of things do you know? right, talk it over with each other. What'd you come up with? Okay, which way does this parabola have to open? Up. It's got to open towards your... It's got to open towards your focus. Okay, so we know we're using our vertical equation, y equals 1 over 4p times x minus h squared plus k. So we need p and we need our vertex. Can we find those? Yeah. What did you find first, the vertex or the p value?
Vertex.
Okay, and how did you find that?
Between the two lines.
Yeah, it's got to be right in between. So what would the point of that vertex be?
3, 6.
Awesome. Everyone okay with that? It's got to be halfway in between the focus and the directrix. Okay, so that's our vertex. We also need our p value. What's our p value? Okay, that distance from 3,6 to 3,8, what's our p value going to be? 2. So if p is 2, what's 1 over 4p? Good. 1 over 4 times 2, which is 1/8. All right, so let's write our equation. Y equals 1/8 times x minus what? 3 squared plus 6. Questions on that? Okay, we are not going to do number 4 because we haven't talked about a focal width. We're not going to really worry about that today. Okay, on the homework I'm about to give out to you, you may omit 6 and 7. Okay, on your homework, you may omit numbers 6 and 7.